The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as Admiral James Taylor strode forward, his weathered face carved from stone. Behind him, the holographic image of a small human boy flickered. Tommy Wilson, age 8, the first human casualty of what the Vex Empire had called a diplomatic misunderstanding. A misunderstanding, Taylor said, his voice eerily calm. That's what Ambassador Krell called it when his soldiers opened fire on a human settlement on Proxima B. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, primitives by most standards, with barely a century of interstellar travel under their belts. But something about the quiet fury in the Admiral's eyes made even the eldest council members uneasy. The boy was playing, Taylor continued. His ball rolled past the security perimeter. Your soldiers had orders to detain any humans who crossed the line. Instead, they'd fired. Ambassador Krell, his purple scales glistening under the chamber lights, rose to speak. The Vex Empire regrets this incident. Our soldiers misinterpreted their orders. We have already executed the responsible parties and offer. Spare me, Taylor cut him off. You've miscalculated, Ambassador, severely. The Admiral touched his wrist device, and the chamber's main display activated. It showed the vast emptiness of space, then a single point of light, then another and another. What is this? Asked the council leader, a being made of crystalline structures that chimed when they moved. This, Taylor said, is humanity's response. The display zoomed out, revealing hundreds, no, thousands of ships emerging from hyperspace. Each bore the insignia of Earth's united fleet. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Vex ambassador's scales paled. Impossible, he whispered. Your species has only 20 warships registered with the Council. Taylor's smile didn't reach his eyes. Did you really think we'd tell you everything? Captain Lisa Miller stood on the bridge of the EFS Retribution, watching as her fleet dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation. The intelligence report had been accurate. The Vex homeworld's orbital defenses were formidable, but concentrated primarily around their military installations. All ships accounted for, Captain, reported her XO, Commander Robert Brown. Fleet is in position and awaiting your orders. Lisa nodded, her thoughts drifting momentarily to the image of little Tommy Wilson that had been transmitted throughout the fleet. A child with a bulb, gunned down for crossing an arbitrary line. She had children of her own back on Earth. Open a channel to the Vex Planetary Defense Force, she ordered. A reptilian face appeared on screen. This is Defense Commander Track of the Vex Empire. You are in violation of sovereign space. Withdraw immediately or... I'm not here to negotiate, Lisa interrupted. I'm here to inform you that in exactly 1 hour, the United Fleet will disable every military installation in your system. We will then land peacekeepers on your world to ensure no more human children are murdered by your troops. The Vex commander's eyes widened. This is an act of war. The Vex Empire has stood for 10,000 years. We have technologies your primitive species cannot comprehend. Lisa leaned forward. Then I suggest you use them, Commander, because we're coming. She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. Battle stations. Prepare for orbital engagement. High Admiral Marcus Davis watched from the command ship as Earth's fleet executed a maneuver no alien species had ever witnessed, the Terran Hammer. 500 ships moved in perfect synchronization, creating a three-dimensional grid that systematically neutralized the Vex defense platforms without destroying a single one. Precision targeting complete, his tactical officer announced. All Vex military installations have been disabled. Civilian infrastructure remains untouched. Marcus nodded. Begin landing operations. On the main viewer, drop ships descended toward the Vex capital. Not with bombs or invasion forces, but with engineers, medical personnel, and a limited security detail. His communications officer turned. Sir, we're receiving transmissions from 17 different species. They're requesting alliances with Earth. Marcus wasn't surprised. The galaxy had just witnessed something unprecedented. A show of overwhelming force, used with surgical precision, motivated not by conquest, but by justice for a single child. Tell them, Marcus said, that Earth is open to diplomatic relations with any civilization that respects human life. all human life. In the Galactic Council chambers, Admiral Taylor stood before a very different audience than the one he'd addressed a week earlier. The representatives of the Vex Empire were notably absent, their empire now under Earth's protective occupation. The terms are simple, Taylor explained. The Vex will submit to a full restructuring of their military. Earth will establish outposts on all Vex-controlled worlds to ensure compliance, and they will pay reparations, not just to Tommy Wilson's family, but to establish a galactic fund for the protection of all sentient children, regardless of species. The council leader's crystalline form shimmered. Admiral, while we do not dispute the justice of your cause, many council members are concerned by the scale of Earth's military. You concealed your true strength from us. Taylor nodded. We did. Humanity has learned through our own bloody history that power does not always guarantee safety, but make no mistake, we will use that power when necessary. He glanced at the holographic image of Tommy Wilson, still displayed beside him. Humanity spent millennia fighting among ourselves. We nearly destroyed our own planet more than once. But we evolved, we united, and we vowed that when we reached the stars, we would create something better. Taylor's gaze swept the chamber. We are not conquerors. We do not seek to rule, but understand this. Every human child is precious to us. Every human life is sacred, and anyone who threatens that peace will face the full might of Earth's fleet. As he finished speaking, the chamber erupted in voices, some fearful, some angry, but many thoughtful. The galactic balance of power had shifted, not because Earth wanted an empire, but because they refused to let the death of a child go unanswered. In orbit above, Earth's armada stood vigilant, a fleet built not for conquest, but for protection, a reminder to the galaxy that humans might be newcomers, but they had learned the hardest lessons of war and peace before they ever left their world, and they were prepared to teach those lessons to anyone who threatened their children.